ideological debate over whether soft Hindutva works? And how concerned are you at the Congress's inability to score in the Hindi heartland while being able to do relatively better in the southern states?
Let's first pick up the southern issue. I have a slight disagreement with Dilip. The disagreement is this, that, if Congress had to cash on the fact that Congress made Telangana, then it should have done 10 years ago. It should have done 5 years ago. The fact is that Congress could not. This time, if the Congress has been able to remind people of that, it is not so much the fact that Congress had given Telangana statehood. The real thing that has clicked is Congress has put in enormous energy. Congress, which was written off. Honestly, a year ago, if you went to Telangana, everyone said BJP was number 2. Congress had been relegated to number 3, that Congress was going to meet the same fate that it had met in Bengal, that it had met in Andhra Pradesh. If Congress could come back from that situation, it speaks about picking a new and energetic leader. It is some credit should go to Bharat Jodo Yatra. Something should be attributed to Karnataka's victory, which has a spillover effect on Telangana, and a lot of energy that Congress put in. So yes, that does have a meaning. And Barkha, responding to what you said, there appears to now be a very clear north-south divide, because the gates for South have, in a sense, been closed for the BJP, with this last major bid in Telangana not coming the BJP's way. But the real important question that Congress leadership will have to face is about inability in North India, despite very reasonable chances. In Uttar Pradesh, Congress can say, we don't have a chance. Fair enough. In Bihar, they can say, we are nowhere right now. It takes a long time. But this is not what you can say about Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. To my mind, this is not about soft Hindutva. I don't think BJP's victory is a victory of Hindutva. I don't think Kamalnath's failure is a failure of his soft Hindutva line. The simple fact is these were not the real issues. The issues were about projecting a hope to the people. Congress can say that, look, in Rajasthan, it's a standard roti palatne ki baat hai. वो पहले भी होती थी, बार फिर हो गई. But if that was the case, Congress should have been able to, and it is a fact that Ashok Gehlot's government has done much better than Ashok Gehlot did in the last 2 previous occasions. Because last 2 times, not only did he lose, he lost very, very badly, and he's had the dubious distinction of running good governments and losing elections very badly. So it is not so bad this time.
Yeah, you made 2 points. I want to just bring in, I know, Yogendra, you're there for just 5 more minutes, but I want Sandeep Ghosh to come in with one comment, and then I want you to respond to that. You made 2 comments. You said the gateway of the South is closed to the BJP. We have to see what happens in Karnataka, in particular in the Lok Sabha, where the BJP did quite well the last time. And you said the Congress must introspect or think about its inability to score in the North. Sandeep, I bring you in because you, despite being a Modi supporter, were not happy. You were not admiring of how the BJP had run its campaign in Rajasthan. The BJP seems to have managed, nevertheless. Your thoughts of the big picture that's emerging, Sandeep, before I take it back to Yogendraji.
See, Barkha, they say hindsight is 20/20 correct, but it's not so, I think, when you're wearing tinted glasses. So some panelists are wearing tinted glasses even while applying hindsight. They're today blaming Rajasthan's Congress's thing on ticket distribution, but if anybody had a problem in ticket distribution, it was the BJP. The kind of backlash they had, pushback they had on ticket distribution, the kind of pushback they had on the central leadership coming in to vote was way, way more than what the Congress failed. So the reasons have to be, you have to probe much deeper rather than just write it off to the ticket distribution and anti-incumbency against local people. There is much deeper factors, and it cannot also be said about Bazi Palatna hai, that sort of a thing. Most, I think the ridiculous argument is to say BJP's doors are closed for South India. Even when Congress ruled Karnataka, BJP had a high score of Lok Sabha seats. And if anybody thought, especially psephologists, that BJP was trying to win Telangana, I don't think they could have been more off the mark. BJP's only objective there was to, they have managed to raise a 6% to 14% or 15%. That's a huge raise. and their objective there was to split the anti-incumbency vote from Congress, and they had to raise their salience in Telangana to be able to make something in the Lok Sabha thing. Their objective was certainly not. I think they would not have been unrealistic to think they would form the government, irrespective of what they would be saying. That they went on putting so much energy till the end was, unless they again raise the salience, they will be out of the race in Lok Sabha, and whatever they will
Okay.
strike, BRS, etc., can happen. So, last thing, so therefore, to say so categorically BJP's door is shut in south of India would be as naive. The best Congress can now say is, I think Congress's line will be, Rahul Gandhi put his energy in Telangana, so they have done well. Other places, Gehlot and Kamalnath kept him away, so they have done poorly. That's the next one you'll hear. Congress did not
Okay.
put any less energy in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, especially, you might say
Can
Rajasthan,
can I
less. Money
can I
power
come in
also.
there?
Just,
Yeah.
yeah, money power in Chhattisgarh. Congress cannot
Yeah.
complain there. They didn't have the money.
Let me just get a last comment from Yogendra Yadav. We actually have a BJP leader from the south of India while we're talking about this, but I just want Yogendra Yadav to respond to what he's heard from both Sandeep Ghosh and Dilip Cherian. The Modi factor, we haven't spoken about it. Many political pundits thought that the BJP was making a critical mistake, Yogendra Yadav, by sidelining its state level leadership, whether in Rajasthan or in Madhya Pradesh. If these numbers hold, what it shows is it didn't matter. It just simply didn't matter that the BJP did not declare a chief ministerial candidate. Even more compelling, if Chhattisgarh, and I'm again saying many caveats, Chhattisgarh mein clarity nahi hai. If Chhattisgarh also goes the BJP way, then even more, Raman Singh was such a low key counter to the high profile Bhupesh Baghel. So everybody will have to redo their punditry. Do we need to talk about the Modi factor, which we haven't spoken about? Yogendra Yadav.
Barkha, just on Telangana, I wouldn't know BJP's intentions as closely as Mr. Ghosh would, so I would bow to him. My own sense was that BJP was trying to do a West Bengal in Telangana. BJP saw that they had done decently in the Lok Sabha election, that this was the one state where they had potentials to go up further. And the whole strategy, from what I could see last year, was to pump Telangana with money, with energy, with propaganda, and aim for number one and end up with a very decent number two, which is what I thought BJP's strategy was till the time they got rid of their president of the state unit, which is where BJP's entire strategy started going wrong. So I probably don't know as well the BJP as well as he would. I'm just speaking from what I saw the signals on the ground, and these look very obvious signals. At some stage, BJP said, all right, now Congress is emerging, maybe best to give BRS a chance. And BJP did step back. And this is not me alleging this. These are BJP own state leaders saying that, why has my party withdrawn? Why is my party not going straight on the BRS? So that's so far. Is it permanently a closure of the BJP in South? No. But is it closing of door for 2024? In significant ways, yes, because BJP's uh, Telangana was the one state where BJP had room to grow in a big way in the Lok Sabha election. That strategy has backfired. Karnataka, BJP, I'm not saying BJP would be wiped out in Karnataka, but BJP now has a much difficult task than it ever did. So, despite several attempts for a real breakthrough in the South, it's not working out for the BJP. That's a fact. But anyway, that does not take away from the bigger story. The bigger story is Congress's inability to convert winnable elections into victory. Yeah, I think Mr. Ghosh is absolutely right to say that the factional squabble within the Rajasthan BJP was much more than the Congress's factional squabble. So we should not blame the factional bit at all, bit majorly. When I spoke of smart candidate selection, it was Madhya Pradesh. I think Madhya Pradesh BJP showed a certain overall strategy, something that you could not accuse Congress of. In Madhya Pradesh, BJP knew what it was doing. In Rajasthan, I do think that finally this thing of changeover, and this is not my interpretation, this has been happening for the last 30 years. Every single ruling party has been voted out, no matter what. And this required Congress to put in some additional energy, additional imagination. Simply saying we have some wonderful schemes, and incidentally, Chiranjeevi's scheme was a wonderful scheme, and it is really a pity that a government that has had such strong welfare schemes is being voted out. But the simple political lesson is having a good scheme is not enough to win elections. You have to convert that into a message. You have to convert that into political organization, both of which Congress failed to do. And those are the things Congress really needs to think about.
Okay, before we let you go, and very briefly, Yogendra Yadav, as a critic of the government, a supporter, as it were, of the opposition politics, a convener of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, you made a very important point. You said the Congress needs to think about its inability to convert winnable elections into victories. Between now and 2024, what's the biggest challenge for the opposition?
Look, what is the real strength of the Congress in North India, in all these states, or in fact throughout the country? The strength is that Congress is the party of the bottom of the pyramid. Congress, at least in whatever votes Congress gets disproportionately larger number of votes from the poor, from the minorities, from the marginalized sectors as SC, ST, and OBC. The difficulty is that Congress's political strategy is not aligned to this reality. So this is the one real challenge. Rahul Gandhi speaks about OBC caste census. Do Congress workers on the ground at all know what caste census is? Do they talk about it? At least I didn't hear them talking about it. Rahul Gandhi speaks about Adani, launches a very sharp attack on crony capitalism. Do Congress's own chief ministers and their own candidates actually carry that forward? At least I did not hear that. So unless there is that alignment of the larger picture, of the alignment of the party with its own vote base, alignment of its policies and its communication with that, otherwise Congress would have the kind of disappointments that it has seen today.
Okay, I think the last point is very important, that are people on the ground even talking about the issues that Rahul Gandhi has made front and central. You named 2 points, two issues: caste census and Adani. Are Congress-run states looking at Adani in the same way? Yogendra Yadav, we're going to let you go. Thank you very much. We'll see you again later in the day. We are now going to take some of your points to the rest of our panel. I also want to bring in, I know Dilip, we have you for a few more minutes, but Shivraj Singh Chauhan is reacting. Just want to play that out. We had a Congress supporter's perspective. We must have undoubtedly the story of the, in some ways, the man of the match, if there is one, is going to be Shivraj Singh Chauhan. In so much so that Dilip Cherian said that he can now be a contender for the number 2 position in the party. And we need to talk a little bit about Mamaji, who transformed himself into bulldozer Mamaji. Let's listen in. This was a while earlier, Shivraj Singh Chauhan reacting to what is poised to be a big BJP win in Madhya Pradesh.
सर लगातार लाडली बहनों का लाडली बहन दिया है, कमल का फूल बहनों का आशीर्वाद सिर्फ मध्य प्रदेश में बल्कि बाकी राज्यों में भी।
हमारे प्रधानमंत्री श्रीमान नरेंद्र मोदी जी एमपी के मन में हैं और मोदी जी के मन में भी एमपी है। उनके प्रति असीम श्रद्धा और अगाध विश्वास है। उन्होंने जो यहाँ सभाएं की, जनता से अपील की, वो जनता के दिल को छू गई और उसी के कारण ये परिणाम जो अभी रुझान आ रहे हैं, ये प्रमुख कारण है। डबल इंजन की सरकार।
So what's very interesting, Dilip Cherian, Kartikeya, do you have a very urgent update? Can we unmute Kartikeya, because I have to go to Dilip. Kartik, I can't hear you. You're on mute. So till you sort that out, Dilip, what's very interesting is
Barkha, I'm saying it's pretty clear that the Congress has lost Chhattisgarh, it seems.
Oh, that's a big one.
Because from all sources, the same information is coming in. That's why
finally, all the information is reconciled. All right, that's a big one.
Which means, Barkha, if there is no ulatfer from here on, the big headline is the Congress is wiped out of the Hindi heartland because they've lost Rajasthan,
They've lost Chhattisgarh. They've been unable to unseat Shivraj Singh Chauhan in Madhya Pradesh. I'll let Mr. Cherian speak, and then we have the vote share numbers coming up.
Okay, I think this is a very, very significant news point. We have been reporting all morning that the BJP has been in the lead in Chhattisgarh, and a lot of Congress leaders were contesting our numbers. Karthik says that those numbers are now reconciled between both sources. The BJP is at 50 in Chhattisgarh, the Congress is at 38. In Madhya Pradesh, it's a clear and distinct win for the BJP, and in Rajasthan, the BJP is very comfortably in the lead. So, as Karthik said, the big story, Dilip, the political big story is the BJP is being edged out of the Hindi heartland. If Yogendra says the South is closing its doors for the BJP, some could argue that large chunks of the North are doing that for the Congress.
Totally. And I think that is a very interesting message. If you juxtapose it, the Congress is being wiped out in the Hindi heartland with the Congress appealing for a meeting of the India Alliance 2 days or 3 days from now, I think the message is now emerging as to what the political message for 2024 is likely to be. The message is that the Congress has to ally and be shall I say, a reconciled part of the India Alliance if it is to win back, claw back any space for itself in the northern heartland. And that is where elections of the future, as everybody has said, after any delimitation, that's where the real numbers are going to come from. So unless the Congress bows its head and recognizes that being part of an alliance is the route to victory, that is the way to go. In fact, that brings me to one more little anecdote that a very senior BJP person was telling me just last night, that their best hope in Telangana was that they would form an alliance with BRS that would stand them in good stead. So, when the BJP is willing to think like that, the Congress has to recognize that this is the time to totally change strategy. And I would say that the Chhattisgarh defeat, if that turns out to be true, and since all your numbers, as Karthik said, are lining up for the first time, it is likely that that message will be resonating more strongly when the India Alliance meets.
Okay, I want to take this to Vinita, who's been waiting very patiently, also Mahima. But Karthik, just a brief overview. Are we calling this election, or are we still being careful?
I think Barkha, Madhya Pradesh can be called. I mean, I don't see anything happening now in Madhya Pradesh at least. Chhattisgarh, I'll still wait because Chhattisgarh is a bit of a seesaw. The number of seats, the gap is not that big.
You want to briefly talk about the vote shares while we get the comparisons up? Yeah, go ahead.
Barkha, what's interesting, a thread that is emerging, Congress has either held on to its vote share or increased across all 4 states. But in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, the BJP has surged ahead of the Congress. And if you see the Madhya Pradesh vote share, Barkha, last time the Congress and BJP were both in the 40 to 41 range. BJP now is 48.5%, which means the space for these other parties has shrunk significantly. If I tell you the last time, the share of others was roughly 18%, and that is going down to 11%. Of the 18%, BSP was 5%, SP was 1.3%. All that has shrunk down to now just 11%. So the BJP has gained at the expense of these chota parties, of the independents. That is the big story. The Congress has held on to its vote share from last time, more or less, in Madhya Pradesh.
Yeah.
If we switch to Chhattisgarh, a similar story emerges, Barkha, which is that last time, and we were saying this in our exit polls also, that last time BJP lost a lot of the vote to these outsiders, the third parties, the independents, and they were actually being smart by half because a lot of them had been fielded by them. Can I have Chhattisgarh slide, please? Chhattisgarh, if you look at the numbers currently, BJP 45.2, Congress 42.4. Last time, Congress was 43, BJP was 33. What that tells you is the Congress has held its vote share, but the BJP has gained at the expense of the others. And these others are all the independents, the Jogi Congress, the BSP, the CPI, etc., etc. So that is the big story. Congress holding, but BJP surging ahead in these two states. Rajasthan. If you look at Rajasthan, the situation has changed only marginally. The gap is very narrow. In fact, Barkha, you have to give it to Ashok Gehlot. It seems that the Congress has lost with a lot more respect in Rajasthan than in Madhya Pradesh. The fight that they gave in Rajasthan ended up being a much stronger fight than in
That's
Madhya Pradesh.
interesting.
So let's look at the vote share.
When Madhavan said that Kamalnath has been the most overestimated political brand of this election, you would agree?
Empirically, I have no reason to not believe him. Let's put it this way. So 2018, the BJP gets 38.8% in Rajasthan. Congress gets 39.6. These are still provisional numbers. They will change, but we're just going by them right now. So BJP has upped its vote share by what, 2 percentage points? Congress has held its own, roughly in the 39 to 40% ballpark. Again, it's the others who have suffered even in Rajasthan. And lastly, Telangana. If we go to Telangana, that is where the Congress has shown the sort of surge that the BJP is showing in other states. Because last time the Congress was at 32% along with TDP. Now the Congress is 41%.
So Karthik, I have a request. Sorry. No, my only request is, I think what would be really useful is if we can see these vote shares in comparison to last time and also juxtapose them with the leads, because then we also have an idea of how the Congress has probably failed to convert a lot of vote percentage into seats because of the first past the post system. I just want to bring in reactions. Anyone who's just joining us, it's 11:30 a.m. on Sunday morning. Here is the big picture. The BJP has handsomely, I don't want to call it, is set to win in Madhya Pradesh. The BJP is surging ahead in Rajasthan. The BJP is ahead in Chhattisgarh, and the Congress is set to sweep Telangana. I want political reactions, and Karthik can go through these numbers. Vinita and Mahima have been waiting patiently. Mahima, it's been not even a mixed bag. If you lose Chhattisgarh, it will be a disappointing result, notwithstanding the dramatic likely win in Telangana. Your thoughts? Ma'am, I can't hear you. Yeah,
am I audible? Am I audible? Yeah. I wanted to say that I am reminded of Ramdhari Singh Dinkar's poetry, where he says, "Singhasan khali karo ki janata aati hai." So either ways, Barkha, it is the people's victory. It is the citizens of India that win. It is the citizens of the respective states that win. It is the democracy that prevails. Unlike the picture that the BJP tried to show the country, 9 years ago and all along, that there will be a Congress Mukt Bharat. You see that we are gaining our lost ground in Telangana. So certainly that is a good news for us, and I think we do deserve a pat on our shoulder for that when the BJP said that the Congress is completely losing. And certainly it is not Congress Mukt Bharat. The states where we are swinging, the state of Rajasthan, it is by tradition, it is a swing state. And I think in spite of whatever happens today, we would have to our credit having given to the state of Rajasthan the right to health, the only state in the country to have the right of the sort. We would have to our credit having given to Rajasthan, a law which protects the gig workers. In Chhattisgarh, we have given loan waivers to the farmer in an unprecedented manner. We have protected the last in the line in Chhattisgarh.
Mahima ji, you were here when Yogendra Yadav, who was a supporter of your party, he said the following. He said the Congress must think about why it is unable to convert winnable elections into victories.
I would say that, see, when it comes to the BJP putting up a fight, we saw in Rajasthan and we saw in Madhya Pradesh that in addition, Rajasthan, we were incumbent. Madhya Pradesh, they were incumbent. They copied our guarantees. They implemented, misappropriating the state machinery within a very short span of time. Rajasthan, Mr. Modi actually himself had to bring the politics to such a low level. He brought it to caste politics. They brought it to communalism. So all communalism, hatred, political vendetta, misappropriation of agencies, an ED official found taking bribe, all of this put together Yet we lose the election. I think we have points to.
Are you disappointed?
We would be. If this was the outcome, then we would be disappointed. We would be back to our drawing board. We would introspect. We would, at the end of the day, you see, Dinkar also said, सूरमा नहीं विचलित होते, क्षण एक नहीं धीरज खोते, कांटों को गले लगाते हैं, विघ्नों को गले लगाते हैं, कांटों में राह बनाते हैं. That is the story of the Congress, with the people's interests at the core of its fight, at the very core of its fight.
Okay, Vinita, you know, as a leader of the BJP from the South, you've heard a lot about the South being closed to the BJP, the North being closed to the Congress, it seems, or large parts of it. How do you see it? You know, from the south of the Vindhyas, how are you looking at what's happening in Telangana and what's happening in the north?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't want to see it as a north-south divide, Barkha. I think we're really emerging as a formidable force. So you should allow us some, victory and time to celebrate this victory. And so I think, so what has happened clearly is beyond what the apologists and strategists have to say. Of course, with all due respect to them. It's about the work on the ground, Modi ji's work on the ground, you can't deny that. It's all about the development, the vikas, as has been, kind of exemplified in Madhya Pradesh, in the opposition rule states, in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh also, we have done our bit, and more than our bit in terms of the central government's interventions and in infrastructure development and overall development of these states. And we have seen how Congress has badly mismanaged Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan with all the series of scams and the paper leaks and whatnot, and all the farm waivers not being promised but not being fulfilled. And Congress, unfortunately, they are about freebies and not really taking those freebies to the last mile. So which is what, unfortunately in the south of India, we see that the states are falling for the freebies and the guarantees, but we have to just let the time go and see how they can actually fulfill these promises on the ground. So we can see a volte-face definitely in the 2024 Lok Sabha for sure. This is not going to be the nature of voting in South India for the Lok Sabha elections. They clearly vote differently for the Assembly and the Lok Sabha. So definitely we're going to be coming back with a resounding victory in the south of India in 2024 Lok Sabha.
Sorry, go ahead.
We have to give it to the development paradigm and the developmental agenda and the nation-building agenda, which is not just about elections for the BJP. However cliched you may want to sound, you may want to look at it as a cliched expression, but it is that it has been a nation-building effort over the last 10 years that our government has been across India, not just the election winning.
I want to bring in Sandeep Ghosh, and then Karthik can take us through all the numbers and the vote shares. Sandeep, were you struck by the fact that Shivraj Singh Chauhan, when he spoke, we didn't get a chance to talk about this, he credited Modi. On the other hand, you had a Dilip Cherian who said that now Shivraj Singh Chauhan's place in the hierarchy of the BJP is going to really soar. But the BJP doesn't necessarily operate like that. The BJP sidelined Vasundhara and has seemingly got away with it. The BJP did not declare Shivraj Singh Chauhan as the chief ministerial candidate. And while the victory may be in large measure of his own popularity and not just Modi's, he was very careful to credit it to Modi. What do you see happening within the BJP hierarchy? There's Yogi Adityanath, who's been very much his own brand. Is Shivraj entering that space or not quite? Hang on, Sandeep. I can't hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
I know of BJP. I'm not a BJP activist or worker or anything of that kind. If you see Modi's rise, okay, Modi created his own equity, but his becoming a prime ministerial candidate was not with the blessings of the then High Command. He created the ground swell, which forced him to become the prime ministerial candidate, forced the hands of the High Command not to be able to deny him that ticket. So I don't think Shivraj Singh is as yet going to make that sort of a pitch. And that will come much later. And right now, he's making the right political noise and sound, because there'll be the time for still the center was going to choose who's the chief minister going to be. My sense is they are not going to disturb Shivraj Singh till the Madhya Pradesh elections. That would be, but you never know.
You mean the Lok Sabha?
Lok Sabha election. My apologies. I meant the Lok Sabha election. But then BJP works in very, very different ways. Although they did, I won't take it for granted. But certainly, Shivraj Singh is not too old. If I'm not mistaken, he's just 62, 63. He has got a long way to go. So Mr. Modi may come back for his third term despite the 75 or something, but then the field is open subsequently, and that will emerge. I think it's too early days to call that whether he was in the race even earlier. If you recall, at that point in time, Mr. Modi was coming, some people were rooting for Shivraj Singh as well, that he has been the most successful chief minister, and the rest of it, even Advani, I think in some places said that he has been more successful than Modi in Gujarat on certain counts. So that will happen later. As far as Congress is concerned, if I may take a minute, I think this time they are a lot of victim of overconfidence. Karnataka gave them a huge overconfidence. The hype they created, they thought they created on Bharat Jodo, that didn't quite materialize. And what Yogendra finally, I think, half admitted, there's a disconnect between what Rahul Gandhi says and the rest of the part, not only the ground people, but also his regional leaders. Rahul Gandhi can abuse Adani, but Kamalnath doesn't do that. Ashok Gehlot doesn't do that. Even Bhupesh Baghel doesn't do that.
That was quite a perceptive point by Yogendra, that the issues that Rahul Gandhi is raising are not finding resonance on the